the Fade 5 podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons! Brad the Big Noise Evans here, joined by the good stuff. Nathaniel Lundy is indeed another edition of the Fade 5 podcast, and we got a little round ball on the mind. NBA postseason underway. Got a couple more playing games. Maybe we're going to get some action there. Maybe we're going to have some additional action on the diamond. Maybe a wild card play or two, but let's hop aboard the Honk Honk Plus Bus, as we always do, to commence the Fade 5 podcast. Our favorite plus 100 odds wager or greater available across the spectrum of sports, whether tied specifically to the action tonight or maybe over the weekend. Lundy, do share.
Well, you know I'm going to go to the ice, Brad, because the greatest postseason in all of sports gets underway this weekend, and that is the Stanley Cup playoff. Absolutely love it. You guys know how much I love hockey. And by the way, see this logo right here? I think they're screwed in the first round, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, let's get to it. Went back, was doing some digging, Brad. Shovel. Ooh, got to dig. And sometimes you got to dig a little deep. Look what I found over at FanDuel here for 3 or more of the first round series to go to a game 7. Even money at plus 100 over at FanDuel. If you look at some of these matchups, for me right now, there's 3 that I could say right off the top of my head that I think have a really good shot to be able to go to a game 7. In particular, that's Florida and Tampa. It's Carolina and the Islanders, and it's Dallas and Vegas. Those are the 3 that just right off the top of my head, pure gut play, I could see those 3 easily going to a game 7, but I could also see, for example, Colorado and Winnipeg going to a game 7. I could see some things like that happening. And so when you can give me even money, all I need is 3 of the series of the 8 to go to a game 7, and we wind up cashing this one at even money. And I only found this at FanDuel, so you're going to need to be able to go grab it here. Let me give you some history here. Excuse me. I'm going to throw out 2020. Okay. COVID, all of that, there was like a qualifying tournament and all that other crap. It was insane. So I'm going to throw 2020 out. Okay. But 3 of the last 4 Stanley Cup playoffs, if you exclude the insanity of the COVID year, have had at least 3 go to a game 7. So history is on our side. It happened last year. In 2022, Brad, 5 of the series went to a game 7. So I love this one at plus odds. I think if you're a hockey fan, you can, like I said, you can identify some of these series that you think have a really good shot to go the distance. You could wind up with overtime in game 7, which is even better. So this is my favorite future play. And you know how much I hate futures, but man, I had to grab a ticket on this one as soon as it got posted this morning at FanDuel.
The drama's going to be thick, says Lundy, in the NHL. Let's go to the diamond on my plus wager. Adolis Garcia, give me the over on 1.5 total bags, taking on the ATL and Chris Sale. That is available at DraftKings Sportsbook at a plus 125 juice. You have it a left-hander because Garcia usually goes off against southpaws. Yeah, he's 0 for 2 lifetime against Chris Sale, but against LHPs this season, 5 for 14 with a pair of extra base hits and a 912 OPS in his career as well against LHP. So in a game in which I think he's going to touch maybe in all the right or wrong places, Chris Sale, he'll split a gap or 2, maybe take one over the fence. Adolis Garcia, I'm going to cowboy up with the Texas Ranger on that over 1.5 total bags in Atlanta, plus 125. At DraftKings. With those bets on the board, let's get after it on this Freaky Friday with another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, numero 5 here on the countdown. We got a day game going on at Wrigley Field. The Marlins-Cubs, game 1 of that series was washed out yesterday on the north side, so we still have the same pitching matchups. Jameson Taillon going against A.J. Puck, or puke, as my colleague Cameron Smith likes to say on Live and Line, and I'm going to drop the puck and make some bucks and fade living daylights out of him with pinkies out. Dansby Swanson on the over with the Southern Gentleman, 1.5 total bases against the Fish at a plus 130 juice. there at DraftKings Sportsbook. You look at Dansby Swanson. He has done this 7 times in 18 games. Again, the Major League Baseball campaign here in 2024. And on top of that, against LHPs this year, he is batting robust. Have to really roll the R's a little bit longer there. 455 against them. 5 for 11 with a 1,299 OPS. Now, he's not faced AJ Puck or Puke in his career, but you look at Puck, he's got a 5+ ERA. The xFIP is north of 7. Now, granted, he has north of an 11 walks per 9 mark, so I'm worried about him issuing a couple of free passes to Swans before he gets the hook in this game. But Dansby, a crack of the bat. I don't care if it's over the fence. I don't care if you split a gap. I don't care if it's a pair of singles. All I need are 2 total bases, and we cash in at plus 130 against Miami. Available at DraftKings Sportsbook. Out of the gates, Lundy, fade or follow.
I love me some total base bets, although they have basically screwed me over in the last few days.
I'm sorry.
It hurts, Brad. It hurts. It's kind of along the lines of shoving an umbrella up your ass and then opening it. Anyway,
I kind of like that though, but I'm naughty in many ways.
You took that into I mean, I was just trying to talk about pain, not the S&M variety that you're into. No, I like the total bases in this one, and in fact, and I know you've got some here on the Fade 5. There are several total base props, hit props, things like that today that I do really like. I think there's some tasty matchups. There's some hitters that have tremendous history against the starting pitchers that are out there. I'm looking at you, Nolan Arenado. So there's a lot of plays that you can do here today. This is a great spot to start if you can jump on it early in this afternoon game.
Dansby Swanson, slap a couple of hits to the outfield, please.
Number 4.
Numero Quattro here on the Feed 5 Friday edition of the Countdown. Let's stay in Major League Baseball. Let's go with a Southsider, and I don't know why I'm back in a White Sox because the team is on pace right out of the worst season in franchise history. They're just 3-15 so far on the young campaign, but Garrett Crochet has got to knit a cardigan on the mound. Give me the over on an SGP on 6.5 Ks, so 7 or more strikeouts. I'm going to pair that with the Philadelphia Phillies plus 2.5 on the alt market run line. I put those hands together in the unrelated correlation, or not really a correlated prop there, plus 115 as a result, available at DraftKings Sportsbook. Crochet is really the only saving grace of this entire Chicago White Sox franchise. They've been a punchline, to say the least, this season, but a guy. Listen to this, Lundy. I don't know if you've been paying attention to what he has shown. He's got a 12.31 K per 9 already this year and a 7.75 strikeout to walk ratio, which is just insane. Only a 3.8 barrel rate on the entire season so far, with a 33.2 call plus swinging strike percentage. He's gone 10, 5, 8, and 8 strikeouts in 4 rotation turns. So he's been over this in 3 of 4 games. And you look at Philadelphia on the entire season, they're number 11 in strikeout percentage, punching out on 24% of their plate appearances. I know it's a road matchup. I know it's a hitter's park, but Garrett Crochet, I'll put you on my torso and feel nice and warm and snug if it gets to 7 strikeouts. I think the Philadelphia Phillies are going to do it for the Fanatic and at least remain competitive in this game. Plus 2.5 on that run line. Again, the White Sox are just god-awful. Plus 115 on that SGP, built at DraftKings. Good, sir. Better follow.
Have you seen, Brad, that like one of the current fashion trends is like crocheted bikinis? Have you seen that? I don't know.
Outside.
It's just it seems a little odd. But I mean, maybe we could arrange to get you a crocheted Speedo. I think that
I'm down.
Be kind of, I mean, you just got to make sure that the crochet that they're tight. You leave a little too much room, and boing.
When you're packing as little as I am, I don't have to worry about those. Little
it's like
outs.
It's like a turtle poking its head out of a shell. I will take this. It's a Friday edition of the pod, folks. Just deal with it, okay? I will roll with this one because I do think the K's are going to be there. But then again, I also think that, Philly's going to wind up winning the game. I don't even know that you need the plus 2.5. You might be able to do it at plus 1.5 in this one. So you can wind up with the not so correlated SGP here. You can get the strikeouts and still expect the Sox to lose.
Hey, Crochet, knit me a winner.
Number 3.
Numero tres here on the Fade 5. Let's go back to one of Lundy's favorite siren songs when it comes to MLB, and that is Total Bases. And Mookie, make me some moolah. I'm going to bet on bets on the over 1.5 total bags against the Metropolitans at even juice, plus 100 there at BetMGM. Little baby seduced by the juice, and I'm totally buying in on this. Mookie bet should go off. He's facing Sean Manaea, who was an LHP last I checked. And Mookie Betts, a guy that's got over 1,000 OPS against LHPs this season, storied history against outlaws in general. On top of that, Betts has got 6 home runs already this year. He scored that 298, really an obscene marking in isolated power. He has one of the highest sweet spot percentages as tracked at baseballsavant.com at 51.4%. He's top 35 in the MLB. And exit velo as well. And the history against Manaea, 10 for 26 with 3 long balls and several extra base hits just in general. So it could be a pair of singles, could be a double, triple. It could be over the fence Friday. It doesn't matter to me. Mookie, make me some money on the over 1.5 total bases against the Mets, plus 100 at BetMGM. Lundy, he's done this over half of his games already this season. I think he stays hot. Fade or follow.
Oh, I've cashed a lot on Mookie Betts here so far this season. There have been some total bases that have been screwing me over, but Mookie Betts is not one of them. Let me go one step deeper, Brad, in terms of what you're talking about with his history against Sean Manaea. He's got the 10 hits that you just brought up. 3 of them are long balls. Let me go one step further. 2 of them are triples and 2 of them are doubles. Oh. He has more more than double the extra bags that he has of singles against him. Of his 10 hits, 7 of them are extra bases. It is insane what he has done to Manaea in his career. So you talked about the 3 long balls, but like I said, 2 triples, 2 doubles. It's like singles are boring to Betts when he's facing off with Manaea, and they're at home at Chavez Ravine. You put all of that together. I think this is a fantastic bet. Take it while you can at plus odds because I'd be willing to bet you by first pitch it'll be down to minus 105, minus 110.
Hey, Mookie, book it around the bags and let's make some money, please.
Number 2.
Numero dos here on the Fade 5 countdown. Let's go to the NBA playoffs and one of the playing games tonight. We got the Sacramento Kings going against the New Orleans Pelicans. And both these teams, New Orleans specifically, fighting for its postseason life. And I can't believe I'm doing this, Lundy. I might be feverish. I might have had a half bottle of tequila starting at around 7 a.m. because I am fading. Yes, fading. You heard that correctly. My guy, who I love and adore, Domantas Sabonis, and I'm taking the under on 22.5 combined rebounds and assists. And I grabbed this at ESPN bet at a minus 130 juice, paying up a little bit. And the reason why this line is jacked up, honestly, I thought it was going to put it like 20.5, and I might have debated the over on that, but I think the extra couple of ticks are really going to come into play. He faced the Pels 5 times in the regular season, and he went 14 combined, 16 combined, 23, the only over combined, 15 and 18. So he's only done this 1 time in 5 toe-to-toe tangos against the New Orleans Pelicans. You look at New Orleans in their last 15 games, of the regular season, they allowed the 8th fewest opponent rebounds per game, but the 13th most opponent assists per game. However, over the entirety of the NBA regular season, they were number 6 in adjusted defensive efficiency. Put all together, the history this season, the fact that New Orleans actually, really ramps it up defensively. And I think the matchup inside against the bigs of New Orleans, not ideal for Sabonis. He may mess around and flirt with a triple-double, but I don't think and isolated production and rebounds and assists, he'll get the necessary thresholds to add up to the over in 23 or more. So under Sabonis, it's crazy talk for me. I never fade this dude, but I'm doing it tonight because I like making money on 22.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 130 at ESPN. Good, sir. Fair to follow.
Here's that. I'm going to follow, but here's what you need to know. He's played New Orleans 20 times in his career. 2-0. 20 times. He averages 14.5. Rebounds plus assists in his career, 14.5. That's it. He averages 9.5 boards and 5 assists in 20 games against the Pels over the course of his career. I don't think you're crazy to fade him on this. Could he decide to step it up? Could it be playoff Sabonis that shows up and he's suddenly finding a way to clean the glass, or he's dishing out some dimes? Of course he could. But I think there's a reason that this is already juiced to minus 130 because I don't think he gets to 20 combined, let alone 23.
Oh, Sabonis. I'm taking an under with him. Drink up, Evans.
Number 1.
Numero uno on this Friday edition of the Feed 5 podcast. My top play in the NBA playoffs. Also wrote about this on thegamingjuice.com. So if you want some more gory details as to why, go for it. But I'm going to give it to you again right now on this SGP. Hey, come with me if you are buying when I am selling in the Bulls matchup against the Miami Heat. Leg numero uno, give me Kobe White, 25 or more on the PRA. That's points plus rebounds plus assists. Give me ILL Dosunmu. I just need a steal from him. And give me, did you ever know that you're my hero? Tyler, be that guy. 3 or more made triples. Uno dos tres, put those hands together, plus 130 there at BetMGM. Give a little background. Kobe White, bushy hair, bushy beard. I am very envious of the flow that he was rocking the other night in the Bulls' victory in convincing fashion against the ATL. He went absolutely berserk in that game, and he has done this. The last 2 meetings against Miami, he went 43 in PRA and 39 in PRA. The 2 prior meetings before that, earlier this season, 20 and 22. So he's done this in 3 or 4 games against the Hawks. He had 57 PRA in total. He's getting downhill. He's making threes. He's dishing the rock. He's active on the glass. I think on this alt line, easily going to get there. May even do it like midway through the third quarter. Meanwhile, Ayo Dosunmu, I just see the steal. He has done this in 4 of his last 5 games. And the last 2 games specifically against the Miami Heat, I realized the Heat allowed the third fewest opponent steals per game in the NBA regular season. But all I need is one slap of the leather, and the guy Ayo Dosunmu, a tremendous on-ball defender, will certainly do that against the Jimmy Butler-less Heat. And then meanwhile, Tyler Hero, 3 or more made threes. Look, Hero should be able to get this with relative ease. I know he's only done this twice in his last 10, but he's shooting over 39% from way downtown. On this season, he had 4 made threes in the other play-in matchup. And here's the deal with the Bulls. They don't defend worth a lick along the perimeter. That has been their vulnerability all season long. They give up 11 threes to the Hawks just a couple of nights ago. Their last 15 regular season contests, they gave up 14.9 made threes per game at a 38.3% clip. I think Hero will get to at least 3 made triples. This could be like a 15-jack game from him from outside without Jimmy Butler there on the floor. So to recap, my top play on this Friday, SGP style, Kobe White, 25 plus PRA, Ayo Dosunmu, ILL, 1 or more steals, and Tyler Hero, 3 or more made trays, plus 130 at BetMGM. Lundy, fair to follow.
I can't decide because all of my NBA SGPs in the play-in games have been getting hosed by one leg.
It's always a leg. There's always a leg that's limp.
It's one leg, and I just sit back and I'm like, all right, something in here is going to screw with us, only because of the track record that I've had here over the course of the last 72 hours. So can I just pass and not vote on this, please? Because I'm a jinx,
huevos, man. That's a total
but I'm a jinx in this crap lately, man. I'm telling you, my play-in SGPs have sucked. They have. I'm being straight up honest with you. And you can actually, if you go to the spreadsheet right now, you're going to see a note on there on my NBA that just says, I'm pressing pause and I'm focusing on the MLB. That's what's on there. Like, I haven't been even posting anything on the spreadsheet for the NBA just because I'm like, screw it, man. I decided to take a break, and that's what you're supposed to do from a betting standpoint. If something doesn't seem right, man, take a step back. Just sort of, it's like driving down the interstate when you can see somebody that you're like, that dude is about to road rage. Don't you take your foot a little bit off the gas just to let him get a ways in front of you so that you know you don't have to deal with him? That's me right now with the NBA. I'm like, I'm going to take my foot off the gas before I wind up going on tilt. So yeah, I don't care whether I'm breaking the rules of this pod or not. I refuse to vote on this one because I'm going to jinx you one way or the other. I'm telling you.
When it comes to the round ball, huevos are scrambled there for Lundy.
Yeah,
so
I ain't touching that crap, man. Don't mess with me right now. It sucks. It's
please just touch me in all of the wrong places, Lundy. Right now, it's bonus time. Bonus time. Obviously, you're not going to have any additional action in the NBA because you're a coward. But you're going to sack up in the NHL. You're going to sack up in Major League Baseball. You might sack up somewhere else. Please share with the audience the rest of your betting card.
First of all, in the NBA, if you do want to play, I put this out on Twitter, I don't know, 2 days ago, whenever it was 2 days ago, I guess, because of the play-in contest. Plus 285 at DraftKings for the Nuggets to beat the Lakers in 5. In 5, plus 285. I don't believe they will get the full-blown sweep this time, even though they have beaten the Lakers 8 straight times. I do believe it'll wind up being a gentleman's sweep. So plus 285 is what you can get that one for at DraftKings. And then the Nuggets move on from their number 2 seed. You talked about the afternoon contest today. I took a slight variation on what you were doing, Brad, over at ESPN Bet. Give me Christopher Morel for a hit and give me Dansby Swanson for a hit. That's plus 118 over at ESPN Bet. Here's part of the reason why. Morel right now is in the midst of a 1 for 26 hitting slump. You know what can cure a hitting slump? Puke or puck, depending upon what you want to call it. I just think it's one of those, like, you go back and look at what he was doing like 2.5 weeks ago when he was on a hitting streak. He was getting multi-hit games, things like that. Morel's going to break out of this, and I believe if it's going to happen, it'll happen this afternoon at home in this contest where he's got a pitcher that frankly is going to serve it up to him. And so all I need is one base knock. I don't need total bases or anything like that. But if you put those two together over at ESPN Bet, did that earlier this morning, you could snag that one at a plus 118 if you want to get on board that one. Here in Denver, folks, I'm telling you right now, don't even waste your time with any bets between the Mariners and the Rockies. The weather here sucks. It is supposed to snow tonight. Excuse me. I don't think there's any way in hell this game is going to be played this evening here in Denver. So instead of risking having your bets being voided, I'm telling you, just skip the game because the weather is supposed to be bad basically for the next, call it roughly 30, 35 hours or so. And then it's going to get nicer. We're getting this one last spring spell that Brad knows all too well from living here. We always wind up with a late spring storm, and that is what is happening here in Denver this weekend. So skip Colorado and Seattle. I'm telling you, don't waste your time. Over in baseball, Brad, I want us to get back to this on the pod. You and I used to do this. We used to have basically our home run pick every day on the pod. I like throwing those out there to the peeps. And so I'm throwing this out there that I want you and I to get back to doing this. And I'm going to give you 3 guys that I like today. You don't have to parlay them together. You can quarter unit bet them, whatever you want. Let me go back to the aforementioned Mookie Betts for all of the reasons that Brad has already outlined. You can get him right now. Check this, plus 360 for a round tripper. And we already gave you all the reasons. Remember, 10 hits, 3 of them are round trips. 2 are triples and 2 are doubles. It's just stupid. Okay. Another one for you, Giancarlo Stanton. I just think we're looking at the opportunity for a long ball. Remember, you got that short porch with the Yankees in the Bronx. I don't know, but he right now is at a plus 265. I've gotten away from Judge because his number always sucks. I always try to pick somebody else in that lineup. And then Brad, our good friend, my boss over on the television side of my life, Matt Kroll, at Altitude. Matt and I have this joke that whenever we bet on Austin Riley, Matt Olson goes yard. And whenever we bet on Matt Olson, Austin Riley goes yard.
Correct.
It's just kind of the way that it is. I'm going to roll with Austin Riley for tonight. He's going to be my pick. You can check out his stats at the site that Brad and I talk about all the time, batters-box.com. But he has all of the advanced analytics to hit a round tripper tonight. That one at DK at a plus 300. Now, a couple more of the NHL futures that I want to throw at you here as we get ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs to get underway tomorrow. I already gave you the one right off the top with the plus bus. Did this one over at ESPN Bet. Give me Colorado and Winnipeg to go over 5.5 games. I told you that's one of the ones that I think could wind up going 7. And then I'm going to parlay that with Boston and Toronto to also go over 5.5 games. If you do that, it's plus 140 at ESPN Bet. Look at how evenly matched up some of these are. And I'm not just saying this because I'm biased as an Avalanche fan. Folks, I'm telling you, the first round matchup to watch, if you only watch one of them, is Colorado and Winnipeg. This is the unstoppable force against the immovable object between these two teams. You have Colorado that has this unbelievable offense. They're led by the guy that's going to win the Hart Trophy in Nathan McKinnon, going up against Connor Hellebuck between the pipes for Winnipeg, who might win his second Vezina Trophy, which is the award that's given at the end of the season to the top goaltender. This is going to be an absolute brutal battle between these two teams. This is going to be like old school, like Pittsburgh Steelers down in the trenches against Baltimore type of thing. I think it's going to be a phenomenal series. So you put both of those together to go at least 6 games, Boston and Toronto, Colorado and Winnipeg, plus 140 at ESPN Bet. And then finally, the other one that I liked that I saw this morning over at FanDuel, you can get Nathan McKinnon to have the most points in that series against Winnipeg at plus odds.
Woo!
Dude's got 138 points on the season, and like I told you, he is going to win the Hart Trophy, and if he doesn't, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind because of the season that he has had. I think scoring could wind up being at a premium for the Avalanche going up against Hellebuck, but if you go back and look at his postseason career, it's not exactly that nice. His numbers in the regular season have not always translated to the postseason, and when it comes to the Avalanche offense, everything runs through number 29. So we just need him to get points. They don't have to be goals. They can be assists, but plus 140 for him to lead the series in points. I really like that from a plus odds standpoint. I will have more series props for you posted up on the spreadsheet, but for now, I yield the floor to the fine gentleman from Illinois.
All right, let's go to our Team Huevos parlay play of the day. And let's go back to Diamond on this SGP. Come with me if you are buying what I am selling between the Twins and the Tigers. Leg numero uno, give me Minnesota plus 2.5 there on the old run line. Leg numero dos, Joe Ryan, 5 or more strikeouts. Oh, what a quickie deke. Leg numero tres, 5 or more strikeouts tied to Jack Flaherty of the Tigers, and leg numero cuatro. I think both pitchers going to be punching out a bunch of dudes. Give me the all total under 11.5. That's plus 135 at DraftKings. Let's give you a little bit of background. Detroit on the standard line is 3-7 ATS in their last 10. And again, I'm taking Twins and an alt line here of plus 2.5. I think they're going to keep this one at least close, if not win it outright. Meanwhile, I look at Joe Ryan, 5 or more strikeouts. He had 12 just days ago against the same Tigers squad. He's done this at all 3 rotation turns so far this season. Detroit, number 7 in K rate so far this year. They're punching out 25.1% of the time. Ryan with a 12.46 K per 9 and a sky-high 32.1 call plus swinging strike rate. Again, all I need is a handful of strikeouts. The same applies to Jack Flaherty, 5 or more strikeouts. He had 8 Ks in that last encounter against Minnesota. He has gone 7-5 and that 8 strikeout game through the first 3 rotation turns this season. Minnesota, even worse than the dish. Very swing-happy team. The 3rd highest strikeout percentage in Major League Baseball so far. Flaherty with a 9.82 K per 9 on the air and an even higher call plus swinging strike rate. He has conjured at 35.9%. 5 Ks, all I need. And then finally, If I think both these pitchers are going to be doing an excellent job towing the rubber, I think this game goes comfortably under 11.5. Detroit, number 27 in weighted runs created. Minnesota, number 28 in weighted runs created. This has got like 3-2 written all over it. So to recap, my team, Huevos, parlay play of the day. Twins plus 2.5. Ryan, 5 or more Ks. Flaherty, 5 or more Ks in the game under 11.5. Plus 135. Not the sexiest juice, but we're trying to build bankroll available there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Elsewhere in bonus time. Sticking with baseball, Blake Snell, give me the over 1.5 earned runs. It's a little bit higher juice there to minus 150 at BetMGM, but I'm willing to slap the wall and pay it. He's taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. You look at Blake Snell on 7 innings pitched this season, 10 earned runs are to his name with a sky-high 9.5 barrel percentage as well. Great history against the Snakes, but Arizona gets LHPs this season, number 5 in weighted runs created. So Snell could still have a quality start, give up a couple earned runs, and we're all winners. And I think he's going to cash on that over 1.5 earned runs. Yes, sir.
By the way, I want to throw this out just real quick. The over-under in that game is at 7.5, and the over is plus 105. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think we could be surprised, and I think there could be some runs by the Bay tonight.
Yeah, I would not be remotely shocked by that development as well. Elsewhere, bonus time. Quickly back to the NBA. Let's look ahead to the weekend matches. We got Phoenix and Minnesota. Kevin Durant, I don't know if you noticed this. His scoring prop is at 23.5 points at DraftKings. That's it. Juice up to like minus 122, but I'm willing to windmill slam dunk that over. Yes, the T-Wolves have allowed the 4th fewest opponent points per game in the last 15 leading into the postseason. Yes, Durant went under this number in 2 or 3 regular season matchups against the T-Wolves, but he's averaging 29.4 points per game in his career in the postseason, shooting 47.6% from the floor. So all I need, 24 more points, I think he gets there. And then in Orlando and Cleveland, give me the under on Jarrett Allen rebounds. That number at 10.5. Orlando, one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA all season long. Last 15 regular season contests entering the postseason, they were numero uno, as a matter of fact, and opponent rebounds per game allowed. Allen was under this in 2 and 3 engagements against the Magic this season. I think Captain Hook, shiver me timbers, likely to come and play here. I think it's 10 boards or fewer for the man in the middle for the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, I'm out of breath and we are out of time. Do us a favor. Sign up for a free account right now at thegamingjuice.com. And notice I got that emblazoned on my chest. Snazzy little shirt that I made. All Lundy's free content is there, including a spreadsheet and NHL picks. Go to the Gaming Juice, check that out. And all of my action as well. It could be the NBA, could be in Major League Baseball. We'll have some NFL draft stuff next week. Already looking ahead to my fantasy rankings are live by position as well. And you can get it all 100% free at thegamingjuice.com. Drop us a rating and a review at your convenience. Also, fade or follow us on the X. We're always giving it to you. Lundy, at Nate Lundy, and myself at Noisy Huevos. For the soon-to-be chilly Nathaniel Lundy in snowy Denver, I'm Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.